Good morning, students. So I am Mary Shiba from Botany department. Today I am going to handling Biobotany 11th standard. So in your Biobotany 11th standard, the first unit, diversity of living world. Okay? The first chapter, living world. What do you mean by living world, children? The living world, they found in many species. Okay? How many species? They are estimated, they want to give calculation. 8.7 million. 8.7 millions of species present in the world. The year they present in the species of 8.7 million. So this 8.7 millions of species includes, they comes under microbes, plants, animals, human beings. These all the items of the comes this estimation. Clear? This 8.7 millions of species. This 8.7 millions of species. This is the estimated survey that is made by that person name is known as Mora et al. Mora et al. Okay? Yes. This 8.7 millions of the species. So here they comes under in a microbes. Am I correct? Say some examples of microbes. Yes. Very good. Tell your answers. Good. Bacteria, fungi, algae. So these are the certain microorganisms. Am I correct? Virus. Yes, good. See some examples of plants. Good. Very good. Algae, bryophyte, pteridophyte, gymnosperm, angiosperm. These are the certain plant types. Clear? Yes. The next one is, we are going to learn the next subtopic in this chapter. Attributes of living organism. Attributes of living organisms. Living organisms. What are the attributes of living organism means? Its syllabus is given certain headings. First one, they give that growth. What do you mean by growth, children? What's the meaning of growth? If living things, so that one takes place, that growth is internally. Clear? This internally means increasing the cells. Increasing the cells mass wise and numbers wise. Okay? So the internal properties, internally the increasing the cells number and mass wise. So all the living organisms, they takes place this type of growth. Clear? The growth is explained in two terms. The growth are explained or defined in two terms. One is intrinsic, and another one is extrinsic. Clear? One is intrinsic and another one is extrinsic. First, intrinsic means the living things that takes place, the growth, the property of the growth, that is called intrinsic. The next one is extrinsic growth means, so this is the object, the non-living object that takes place, the growth is known as extrinsic. Clear? Intrinsic means, so this is the living object that takes place, the growth is known as intrinsic. Extrinsic means non-living object that takes place, that growth. Living object and non-living object. So here the living object, the living things, so that one that takes place, the growth means. So here they involving in a unicellular organism, multicellular organism. So these are the things that takes place in the intrinsic properties of a growth. Clear? Say, can you say one example of unicellular organism? Yes, good. Bacterial cell, amoeba. So these are the cells they comes under intrinsic type of growth. Clear? Then multicellular means Pseudopodium. Many algal species are available. Many plant species they comes under an instinctive type. The instinctive type means, so here the addition of new protoplasm within the cell. Okay? So this is the type of the growth as we are called as an intrinsic type of growth. Then the extrinsic type, so here they give that example as mountains. These mountains, that's one of the good example of extrinsic type of growth. The aggregation of these materials on the surface area. Clear, children? So these are the two terms explained here, intrinsic and extrinsic. This is the one of the 2 mark question answer. Understood? Are you understood, children? Yes. Good. Next one, what do you mean by attributes, children? Attributes means natural quality. Okay? What is the natural quality of living organism? Second attributes or second natural quality of living organism is cellular structure. Cellular structure. Cellular structures. So all the living cells that's made up of cells. So here the cellular structures becomes under in 2 types, children. One is prokaryotic and another one is prokaryotes and another one is eukaryotic cells. Eukaryotic cells. Eukaryotes. Okay? The cellular structures, so they comes under in 2 types. One is prokaryotes and another one is eukaryotes. Prokaryotes mostly they comes under a unicellular organism. That's the best example, bacterial cell. Okay. Eukaryotic cells means, so here they comes under a 2 type of organism, unicellular organism and multicellular organisms. Okay. Unicellular means so the amoeba. So this one. Multicellular also they comes under a Spirogyra and Eudogonium. So these are the examples or they comes under in a eukaryotic organisms. Clear? Do you know about this? What is the difference between prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell, children? Yes, try it. What is the difference between? From the lower class itself you will learn these terms. Prokaryotic organism and eukaryotic organism. Am I correct? Yes. Shall we? What is the difference between prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell? Good. Prokaryotic means that is indefinite nucleus, no membrane bound nucleus and organelles. Clear? So the lack of membrane bound nuclei and organelles. Organelles means mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi complex. So these are the organelles. Okay? Here the eukaryotic cells means the definite nucleus with membrane bound organelles are present. The organelles like mitochondria, Golgi body, endoplasmic reticulum, all these items, the membrane bound organelles are present in a eukaryotic cell. Clear, children? I understood? Say yes or no? Yes, good. The next one is, what is the natural quality of living organism or attributes of living organism? Third one is reproduction. This is very important, one of the essential things of living organisms. Okay? Reproduction. Do you have any idea about this term? No? Say, if you know means say the answer. The production of young ones or new ones, offsprings. Am I correct? Yes. The reproduction is one of the essential and important natural quality of living organism. So this reproduction can be defined in two terms. One is asexual reproduction, and another one is sexual reproduction. What are the two types? Asexual and sexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction means, so here without involvement of gametes. So here this production of new one or the production of offsprings, at that time the same parental character is expressing the young ones. Understood? By asexual means the same, more or less the same parental character is expressing this type of reproduction. That's the asexual reproduction. Clear, children? Yes. The next one, sexual reproduction means, so here the involvement of gametes. The two forms of the gametes, they fuse it, bring out in its variation. The young ones, so they get it in variation through recombinations. Understood? So that is sexual method of reproduction. Here, it's your syllabus. They are detailed given that certain asexual method of reproduction. Okay? Let us see. The next one is the reproduction. There is two types. One is asexual and another one is sexual. So, in this asexual method of reproduction, certain methods they are giving in this living organisms. First one is the production of conidia. Next one, the second method of asexual reproduction, budding. So after this one, I'll ask the question, children, so all of you listen carefully, okay? Yes. Next one is fragmentation. The next one is fragmentation. The next one, regeneration. The next one is binary fission. Clear? Binary fission. What are the asexual methods of living organism? Production of conidia, budding, fragmentation, regeneration, binary fission. These are the asexual method of reproduction in living organisms. First one is production of conidia. What does mainly conidia means? So this is a fungal organism. For that asexual reproduction, they are producing in a spores. Okay? So the spores are they presence in this conidiophore. This is the conidiophore region. Okay? Then here, this region above this conidiophore, they produces in a many spores. These spores we are called as, the name is known as conidia. Clear, children? First one, the formation of conidia or production of conidia. So here the conidia means that's the one type of spore, the fungal organism for asexual reproduction they are producing in a spores. Clear? These spores are this area, this is called that area is known as conidiophore. So above this region the spores are present. These spores are called conidia. Clear? Yes. So here the productions of conidia, we are given the two examples. The two examples of fungal organisms. So first one is aspergillus. If you are learning the species name, at the same time you learn the spelling also. Okay, the species names are little difficult to children. So at the same time you learn that the spelling means you can learn easily. Clear? Yes, aspergillus, and another one more species is penicillium. Clear? The production of conidia, two fungal organism is mentioning in your syllabus. One is aspergillus and another one is penicillium. Clear? The next one is budding. Budding means, so the plant body, that's a parent body, this like structures means. Suppose for example yeast cells. So this is, imagine this is one of the yeast cell. So this is the parent body. From the parent body, one outgrowth like structure is present. Okay. These outgrowth like structures, after this one is separated or detached from this parent plant, this one is survive independently. Understood, children? But this outgrowth like structures that is produced from the parent cell after this one is separated in a new individual. So this is the name this is the type is called as the name budding. This is the type is called budding. Okay. Here this is one of the good example, yeast cell, yeast hydra. So these are the examples of budding. Clear? The next one is fragmentation. Fragmentation means, so this is the fragmentation means, so there's a plant is mostly they comes under multicellular in nature. Okay. The fragmentation, one of the organ species, it's Spirogyra. Spirogyra. This is Spirogyra. So this like a plant body, that's a thallus is present. This thallus body, so here they presents in the chloroplast, the ribbons like shape of the chloroplast is present, children. So here, this fragments wise, the plant body, that's a thallus. The plant body is called, the name is thallus. This one is grows into new organism. Clear? Fragmentation means that's a plant body. This is called thallus. This thallus grows into new organisms. Clear? This is the type as we are mentioning in here, fragmentation. The fragmentation, good one example is Spirogyra. Spirogyra. Clear, children? And some more species are available in this condition, fragmentation, Oedogonium. These are the species, they comes under in the asexual type of reproduction in fragmentation. Regeneration. Regeneration means if any one of this plant body, if any regions cutted means, so suppose if you are cutted in the apical side or that's intercalary or that is the terminal region, that cutted part, if you are cutting that region, that part will grow in that new organisms. Clear? Suppose for example in this type regeneration, this example of the species is planaria. Okay. So this planaria species, if we are cutting this regions means, so this one grows that new individual organisms. Clear? Suppose if they cut it in this part means this part will grows that new individual. Clear, children? Yes. Then last one, asexual method of reproduction, binary fission. Binary fissions means the vegetative cells, they divide into two. The dividing of this, the plant body, or that is the dividing of the cell into two. Clear, children? That is known as binary fission. This is the one good examples of the cell is bacterial cell. Okay? The bacterial cell, just imagine this like one bacterial cells or presence means, so here they center the presence in a nucleus. Am I correct? First the projection is appear or they dividing the cell this like structures. Clear, children? Yes. Then after that, the dividing of this cell wall region is first, then after only they divide this nucleus into two. Then finally we will get that is the two daughter cells. Two daughter cells. Clear, children? This is known as binary fission asexual method. Understood? Yes. So this is one of the 3 more questions, children. So all of you listen. Suppose they will ask the question, mention the asexual methods of living organisms. So you have to write this 5 points, production of conidia, as well as you write this example. What are the examples are given in this production of conidia? Aspergillus and Penicillium. Clear? Budding, yeast and hydrilla. That's the example. Fragmentation, the example is based on example, Styrogaira. Regeneration, planaria. Binary fission, bacteria. Clear, children? Yes. Next, we shall move. The next attributes of living organism. Response to stimuli. The next natural qualities of living organism. Response to stimuli. A response to stimuli. Clear. The response to stimuli means all the living organisms sense their surroundings within external environment, the various stimulus, okay? The response to stimuli, the living organism, that's a capacity to respond their environment to various stimulus. First one, the stimulus means the maybe physical stimuli, chemical stimuli and biological stimuli. So this type of the stimulus are present. Clear? So in this characteristic features or that in this natural quality of living organism, natural quality or attributes of living organism. Here learn that's two questions, children. One is consciousness. 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 And the next one is irritability. 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 Clear? One is consciousness and another one is irritability. Consciousness means the animals all sense their surroundings by sense organ. So that is called consciousness. Clear? Animals all sense their surroundings by sense organs. So that is called consciousness. Irritability means the plants also responding to the stimuli. Okay? So at that time sudden changes is occurs. So that type of changes is called irritability. Clear? I am going to tell some examples here. The plants bending towards the sunlight. The next one, you know it's touch me not plant? Yes. So that one, if we are give one stimulus, stimulus means if we are touching that leaves, immediately that is closing of the leaves. Understood, children? So this is the few examples of irritability in plants. Plants also, if we are giving some stimulus, immediately that one is responding. Clear? That's the responders called irritability. Understood, children? Yes. This is very, very important. Two more questions, children. All should learn carefully. Clear? Yes. Next one is we are going to learn hemostasis. The next attributes of living organisms. Hemostasis. Hemostasis. Okay? Yes. What do you mean by hemostasis means? The property of self-regulation. First I am going to tell that definition. Okay? The property of self-regulation and the tendency to maintaining in a steady state. So first one, the property of self-regulation and maintaining the steady state phase within an external environment, which is liable called homeostasis. Clear? So what do you mean by this means? So this homeostasis here, this is the essential of all living organism. The internal condition is set or to surviving with the internal condition is fit into or that is surviving of the external environment. For the living organism, the internal condition is survive of this external condition. What do you mean by this hemostasis means? For example, in our body condition, the temperature is automatically, that's a steady state. Am I correct? For example, if we are entering in a hot environment, our body temperature is a steady state. Suppose if we are entering in a cool environment, that also our body temperature is steady state. Clear, children? Body regulation of this body temperature is normally, that is steady state fix. Clear? Yes. So next one. So this also one of this homostasis. This is also very important. One of the 3 more question, children. So all should learn thoroughly. Next one is natural quality of living organism or attributes of living organisms. Metabolism. Before this metabolism, I am going to teach this the level of organization and integration of living organisms. Okay? So last, it's a living, what are the attributes of living organism? Before I am going to teach the level of organization, the levels of organization, and integration of living organism, integration of living organisms. Okay. The level of organization and integration of living organism, first one, that begins this level is atoms, endings with the biosphere. Okay. The first one, all the non-living things that is made up of atoms. The first, the non-living things that's made up of atoms. Clear, children? These atoms, they form that molecules and components. Molecules and components. Clear? These molecules and components, they comes under in 3 forms. One is colloidal form, and crystal form, and another one is mixture form. Okay? So these 3 forms is available in molecules and components. Understood, children? These molecules and components, the next level, they forms that organelles. Okay? Organelles. Can you say that some examples of organelle? Yes. Tell me. Mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi body, DNA. So these all the things are they comes under organelle. Clear. These organelles, they forms that. The organelles, they forms that next level is the living cell. Okay? Living cell. Living cells. Living cells forms that. What's the next one? Do you guess? Living cells. The next forms that. Very good. Tissues. Okay? The next one is the levels. The tissues forms the next level is tissue system. Okay? The tissue system, they forms that organ. Am I correct? The organs forms that organ system. Organ system. Am I correct? The organ systems forms that individual organisms. Individual organisms. Clear? This individual organisms forms that population. Very good. Population. Okay. The population forms that community. Very good. Community. Then community forms that the next level. The community forms that ecosystem. What do you mean by ecosystem, children? In the lower class itself you learned this term. What do you mean by ecosystem? Good, very good. Open your mouth and tell. What do you mean by ecosystem? The interaction between living and non-living components, that's known as ecosystem. Clear? Yes. Then last, finally, they forms the ecosystem, they forms that biosphere. Forms that biosphere. Clear? Here you learn that is one of the definition of biosphere, children. From that first page, one small introduction whereas is there. So there you learn this, what is the definition of biosphere. Biosphere means the life on earth, they exist within a complex structure is called. The life on the earth exists within a complex structure is called, what is the one? Biosphere. Clear? This is the one of the 2-mark question. So this one, the level of organization and integration of living organism, this is one of the very, very important 3-mark question. Okay, children? Suppose they are asking this question means, so these are the levels, you write one by one. Clear? Yes, good. Then last attributes, we are going to learn metabolism. Did you hear this word metabolism? You know? Metabolism. What is the meaning of metabolism? What is the meaning of metabolism? What is the meaning of metabolism? If any chemical reactions takes place inside the cells of living, so that is called metabolism, metabolic activities. Am I correct? The total chemical changes takes place inside the cell. Okay? Cells of living one. So that is called metabolism. This metabolism defined in or classified into 2 terms. What are the 2 terms of metabolism means? One is anabolism, one is anabolism, and another one is catabolism. Clear? Anabolism and another one is catabolism. These are the 2 types of metabolism. Anabolism means this is a production of or building of process. Clear, children? Catabolism means breakdown of this process, breakdown of these molecules. Clear? Anabolism means production or building of process. Catabolism means breakdown process. Clear? The next one is we are going to learn one of the very, very important 3-mark question. What is the differences between anabolism and catabolisms? Okay? What is the difference between anabolism and catabolism? Anabolism and catabolism. Clear, children? Yes. So first point you write about what's the definition of anabolism and what is the definition of catabolism. Write it in the first point. Clear? Second point, so here the smaller molecules are the forms that are complex molecule or larger molecules. Okay, the production of smaller molecules into larger molecules. Clear? Catabolism, here larger molecules are break down into simple units or single units. Clear, children? Or smaller units. But here the production of simple molecule or smaller molecules into larger molecules. So the catabolism process, this is the larger molecules, they break down into single units or smaller units. Understood? Yes. Then here the third difference between anabolism and catabolism, here chemical energies are stored. Do you know some chemical energies? Can you say some chemical energies? You can tell children. What is the chemical energies? Very good. ATP, ADP, FADH2, NADPH2. So these are the certain chemical energy. Anabolism, Here that's the chemical energies are stored. The chemical energy are stored. Okay, the chemical energies are stored. Here the catabolism, the chemical energies are utilized. The storing of the chemical energy that can be utilized in this stage of catabolism. Clear, children? Yes. The next one is anabolism process. I am going to say one examples. So here the production of protein molecules, the production or synthesis of protein molecule from small units of amino acids. Am I correct? The smaller units of amino acids, they forms that one of the complex molecule, protein molecules. Clear, children? Here the catabolism, that's an example. So here that's the one of the larger molecule, that's glucose. The glucose is one of the larger molecule. Okay, so this is the larger molecule. This glucose is break down into, after that we are getting in a carbon dioxide and water. Okay, carbon dioxide and water. This is the major difference between anabolism and catabolic process. Clear, children? So once again, I will repeat from this attributes of living organism. Attributes of living organism. So they are going to learn 6 points: growth, cellular structure, reproduction, response to stimuli, hemostasis, metabolism. Okay. The first one, the growth means they are to be learned. That's 2 terms, children. One is intrinsic type and another one is extrinsic type. Intrinsic and extrinsic. Clear? Then second one, natural quality of living organism or attributes of living organism. This is cellular structures. That's 2 type of cellular structures. One is prokaryotic cell and another one is eukaryotic cells. Prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Reproduction. So here they comes under 2 type of reproduction: asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. What are the various methods they present in asexual reproduction in living organism? Already learned. They will learn that's the 5 types, 5 methods. Production of conidia. Second one, trait, children, budding, regeneration, trait, very good, fragmentation and binary fission. Clear? Yes. So in this question you write this methods as well as the examples you must write. Next one is response to stimuli. So here you learn that's a 2 mark question. What is consciousness? And another one is what is irritability. Clear? Yes. Next one is homostasis. This is very important, one of 2 or 3 mark question. So all should learn this definition clearly. Understood? Then here one question is also additionally added. So that is the level of organization and integration of living organism. The level of organization or integration of living organisms. So first that one starts from atoms to biosphere. How will you form this level of organization? This like atoms forms that molecules and compounds. This also comes under 3 forms: colloidals, crystals and mixtures forms. So this is comes under in a non-living things. The next one is this molecules and compounds forms organelles. Organelles forms that are living cells. In this stage the living cells is started. Then tissues. After this forms organs. Organs forms organ system. The organ systems forms individual organisms. The individual organisms makes that population. Population forms community. The community forming in that ecosystem. Ecosystem forms that biosphere. This ecosystem and biosphere we learned that is the definition. Clear, children? Yes. The next one, they are given that one of this activity. So this activity, they are given that is 2 species. One is Vallisneria. That's a water living plant. And another one is Cara species. Cara, that is comes under an algal species. Okay. So this Vallisneria, if you take that leaf part, Cara species, you take that thallus. Plant body is called thallus. Clear? Then take this two species, either anyone. Okay. Take it. To take the section from that is the internodal region, there the cytoplasm, so take it to this section, kept that's under that microscope. At that time, inside the cell, the cytoplasms are moving. Okay, the movement of the cytoplasm inside the cell, that is we are called cyclosis or cytoplasmic streaming. Clear? So the next one we are going to learn, that's one of the 2 mark question, children. What is meant by cyclosis or cytoplasmic streaming? Cyclosis or cytoplasmic streaming. Cytoplasmic streaming. Clear? Oh, first one, cytoplasmic streaming means movement of the cytoplasm is called cytoplasmic streaming. This is one of the very important 2 mark question. Okay. So today's class I taught about many things. Many 2 mark questions, 3 mark questions I have given. Before entering the next class, please try to learn all this 2 mark and 3 mark question. Thank you, students.